sponsor, Petruzzi's Quality Meats, located in Cranford, New Jersey, serving customers all over New Jersey for the past 50 years. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Talk, presented by the Shore Football Report. And today we have two very special guests to me, very important people in my lives for the last couple of years, because I was the head football coach at Barnegat High School, and I had these two young men as assistant football coaches, and I'm real proud to have them on our show. And with all due respect, here is Barnegat High School's two assistant football coaches, Coach Petruzzi up top and Coach Villiez on the bottom. Coach, thank you for representing Barnegat today.
Thanks for having us, Coach.
Thank you, Coach. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. And exciting time. Coach Covine, who is the new head football coach, 35-year-old head football coach, been in the program for 13 years, was a loyal assistant, 3 years as a defensive coordinator. And let me tell you what, I couldn't be any prouder of how the program, what the direction is right now and where it's going. We're not just with the head football coach, but with my assistant coaches that came back on the staff. Says a lot about you guys and the bond that you have with the new head football coach, Coach Covine. How's things going over there?
So far, everything's going pretty good. Coach Covine is very motivated. He's got the kids very motivated right now. We're taking care of a lot of business in our off season right now in the weight room. So things are going good. It's early in the year, so there's a lot of work ahead of us, but right now things are good.
Truz?
I can tell you, not only is Coach Covine excited, this whole staff is excited, Coach. We've been given some different roles, responsibilities, some additional responsibilities. As you know, I've been taking over the director of football operations, which includes a lot of – and you know all the work that a head coach does. And Coach Covine wanted to be able to kind of relieve himself of some of those responsibilities.
He delegated a lot of responsibility.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's great to work for, but he's demanding, Coach. He's demanding.
Really? Good. Tell me more.
He knows what he wants, and he wants it. That's it.
Good, man. I'll tell you what. I told Coach Covine on the phone the other day, I said, one thing you got on me is you're a lot cleaner than I am. Because I walked into that field house, and it was immaculate. And you know me, I treat the field house like it's a field house. So, but you guys got it really going right there. I am so proud of that. And listen, I've told people the story, and I'm going to say it again. I needed to step down after I had that procedure 2 years ago. I just needed to find when. And I talked to all you guys in that locker room, and you know it, Coach Covine included. You all needed to step up, and Coach Covine did. Covine stepped up for 2 years and made it a lot easier for me to step down. And thank God we won that last game, because if we didn't beat St. John Vianney, it would be bothering me like you wouldn't believe. That was the greatest feeling and the greatest gift. But stepping down was very important to not only me, but my family and my doctor. I never told you guys this, but there's always signs. And everybody always says, are you sure you did the right thing? Yes, I am. After you say it a couple times, you say, am I sure? Or I'm not. So after the game, we won. You all were on the bus. I had my hat, and I wanted to throw it off on the field and leave, because my wife says that hat never leaves you. So I talked to some people. I leave. All right, I'm ready to leave. I had the hat. I went around the 50-yard line. I threw the hat on the ground, and I started walking by. One of our former players that was at St. John Vianney, TJ Crudup, and his father came up to me and were talking to me. After a couple of minutes, one of the grounds crew guy swooped around. He goes, Coach, I'm ready to leave now. And he goes, you forgot something. I said, what is it? And he gives me the hat. I went, God darn, I couldn't get rid of this hat. But I know I made the right decision. Why? Because the guys on the show, you two, and of course, the main guy, Coach Paul Covine, you proved to me you guys were ready to take it, and it was closure to me. It really was. And I am so excited. I am very excited about the staff, the players, and what Coach Covine, that's great opportunity he has for the next couple of years, because he's going to be a head coach for a long time. Okay, now let me quickly introduce you guys, and then you're going to take the floor and talk about the process, which is the greatest part of the show, where you talk about your resume from how you first started with the sport to how you got to Barnegat. And that's the big thing that everybody wants to hear about. First, Coach Villiez, guy on the bottom. You are a founding father of this football program. What that means is you bought into, when we first started the program, you played in that first senior class. That was incredible. So you were with us from when we started in the middle school, sizing you up at Brackman with the shoulder pads, putting on your pads the wrong way, all that stuff, having those doubts because there was nothing in front of you that was paved the way. You paved the way for everybody today playing Barnegat football. How important is it for you to come back, being a founding father and now an assistant coach for 10 years, and now you elevated your role to not even being just a football coach, you're the head boys lacrosse coach and a successful one. Great season this year, Coach.
Oh, thank you. Starting off the program, being a founding father, starting as a middle school player who's never played football, that kind of defined me as a coach. Those first couple of years were important to me. Seeing how the program grew, having just that family feel, that dedication that the coaches had, it's just something that always lasted with me. It's something that as soon as I started playing football, I knew that I wanted to come back and coach at Barnegat. It's a special place to be. It's hard to put into words sometimes, but when you go through that process of starting a program and seeing how far it's come, it's impossible for me not to be part of the Barnegat program. So on the other side of it with lacrosse, same kind of thing. I was on that first varsity program.
Mm-hmm.
I started coaching with my head coach, Ryan Dallin. He showed me a lot of the things, and he kind of passed the torch along. And we've had some down years, and it's finally starting to come back up. So it's like it's my own version of rebuilding that program. So right now, the start got me to where I'm at. I'm grateful for all the opportunities I have, the opportunity you gave me as a player and as a coach, because if it wasn't for you, I probably would have never played football. Because this whole thing started with me. It was a phone call from you.
I had to win over your mother on that one.
No, yes.
I had to win your mother over. So
She
thank
did
her.
not want me to play football.
Yeah.
I did not come from a football household. But you were very persistent, to say the least, with my mother, and it all worked out for me.
That's a great story. It really is. And watching you coach and grow, because the last couple of years you stepped up your game for me in the weight room. You are tremendous mindset with how to prepare all athletes, not just football players, and getting them faster, stronger, and just better players on the field. How important was it to you to build everybody up, to get them ready in the offseason?
Well, I share that belief with Coach Covine. I think you win and lose in the weight room. It's something that we really wanted to dedicate ourselves to. It started out the coaches leading by example, getting in the weight room, throwing some weight around in front of the kids,
mm-hmm.
Kind of setting the tone. And the kids have bought in. We had our max outs this week, and we actually had 8 guys make the 1,000-pound club, including a massive squat by Kenny Minor at 605 pounds.
Coach, I want to just make this note. That's 605 more pounds that I can lift. So go ahead. He's pretty strong.
When you see teenage kids putting up weight like that, it's something that catches your eye. It's something that we haven't had before. We've always had guys in the weight room, but not moving weight like they're moving now. So things are looking good. Our weight program is the best it's ever been.
Yes.
So that's something that we're just trying to keep going and keep that momentum going in the weight room, and hopefully it translates to on the field.
It will. Of course it will. And you have a big part of that, Coach. And don't forget that. Coach Petruzzi up top. Now, you took a different route to where you're at. You were a successful business guy that I invited to come to our camp one day. And that was the day that you fell in love with them. They fell in love with you. You are tremendous. And that's one of the reasons I wanted you on the staff. You are so good with people's skills, and you're very good at communication, stuff that I might be lacking, which I'll admit I'm not very good at that stuff, but you are very good at that stuff. From that point when you came on our field, did you know you wanted to coach right away, or you kind of like felt it out a little bit?
It's funny, Coach. About 15, 17 years ago, someone said to me, if I gave you enough money, $5 million to retire, what would you do? I said, Coach, I told this person, I said, I'd live at the beach and coach high school football.
Wow.
That's about 15, 17
I wish
years
somebody
ago.
asked me that. I got a different question.
Well, I never got the $5 million, but
check your left pocket. Go.
I did retire. So about 5 years ago, I did retire, and you and I had met. You said, hey, why don't you just come? I could use a quarterback coach, and I studied the game of football. I coached it on the Pop Warner level. I played it. My kids played it. I'm a football guy. My kids are football. We're a football family. And that first day I walked on your field and I had a Michigan shirt and a hat on. They thought I was a recruiter.
Yes, you did.
But I fell in love. I tell you that I fell in love from the day one that I hit that turf. And I smelled that field house. I was like, wow.
Because it wasn't clean for a couple months.
It wasn't clean. But, Coach, I tell you, I want to thank you for the opportunity because I came out as a volunteer and I coached quarterbacks with you and then progressed in different responsibilities. And here I am today. I'm on the right side of Coach Covine as director of football operations. And you talked about my people skills. I spent 40-something years in sales and marketing and other things, working in big corporations where you have to have impeccable people skills and leadership. Mm-hmm. And that's what I took from my corporate experience, my leadership, how to delegate, how to really get things done. And if you saw the field house, what we did there, and how our equipment handout was this week, it was just impeccable. And that 7-on-7 tournament that Coach Covine allowed me to run, we had the only flaw we had was the bathroom overflow. So
sorry, I had to go bad. I apologize.
But otherwise, on the field, it was just a great experience. And but here I am today. We were talking about when I'm going to leave, and I don't know. I looked at Coach Covine and I said, "You're carrying. I'll be here in a wheelchair, Coach. I don't really care."
Enough about next week. But go ahead.
My wife actually has really told me, "You just do what you want to do with football this year." Because I bought her a puppy. So.
That's all, Coach.
You do what you want to do.
Coach, we always talk. You only get one first impression, and that first impression that you had on the players, the coaches, and the community has been something that's been unforgettable. You really have came into our program, injected into a program that basically was all together for many, many years, and says a lot about you. But I know I made a right decision by allowing you to come in. We just don't let anybody, but you were that person that fit and your experience in the outside profession of coaching really has benefited our football program a lot.
And Coach, one of the things I want to do, not only teach football, I want to try to teach kids about life and help be a mentor to some of these kids and teach them that there's life, beyond high school and football, that you can go on the corporate world and still be very successful.
Good, great job, Coach. Just talking briefly about you, but now let's get into the process, and we kind of got into it a little bit, so you could kind of briefly summarize it. Take us to this part is about telling us how you got to be where you are right now. You didn't just snap your finger and just all of a sudden become assistant football coaches. You had to work at it little by little. And what I say is like put money in the bank and you cashed in. Coach Villiez, we know about you. You were a player. You won me over. Now, as a player, you could have been a goofball. You could have been having a reputation in school. And when you come back, it's kind of obvious that, hey, maybe he's not ready for that. But you really toned. You had a good tone to yourself throughout the years. It says a lot about you and your family with that. So, Coach, you give us your rundown, how you first started from the time I won over your mother to get you to play football to where you are now as not only the head lacrosse coach, but a successful football coach in our program for many years. Go ahead.
Well, like I said earlier, as soon as I started playing at Barnegat, that's when I had the idea that I wanted to coach. The coaches back then were just so fundamental, and like how I grew into a man. I had a good father figure at home. There's no doubt about that. But the fact that I had those other adults in my life that kind of showed me some of the things that I didn't get to see at home kind of made me more well-rounded than I could have been without football. So being that I took that path, I wanted to also be a teacher. Phys ed was the obvious route for me. Someone who was just involved in athletics, like being in the weight room, stuff like that. But after high school, I went to Kane University, played some football there. When I was done at Kane, I played some semi-pro football. Couldn't scratch that itch anymore as a player, so that's when I started coaching. That really defined me as a person, those early years. And it's because guys like you, guys like Coach Burke, older Burke and young Burke, who were very influential on me. Guys like Coach Toddings are still administrators in the district. Coach Germano, who was coaching football back then, and now he's our athletic director. You guys have made such an impact on my life. and that's why I'm still here. And that's why I'll be here for a long time.
And Coach, and your lacrosse success is a tribute to how hard you work on and off the field with all the athletes. And that's that. I love how you talk to all the athletes, not just the players that you're coaching at the time. That's a good thing with you. But we have a lot to talk about you later on. Coach Truz, you had a different route, and I love for people to hear it because it's quite a story, because you were very successful down there. You also coached your son, and now you're back here. It's amazing how things go in many, many years. You never ever thought you would be at Barnegat 40-something years ago, would you?
No, geez, no, Coach. If you asked me, in my 20s, 30s, I'd be coaching at Barnegat. I didn't know where Barnegat was at the time.
Yeah.
But one of the things, Coach, I wanted to get involved in coaching after I retired from the corporate world. I'm not a guy. I tried staying home, playing golf and fish. That's not me. I need to be active. I need to have that interaction with people and kids and just trying to make a difference in this world. And I think Coach Villiez, I coached with him in lacrosse, and I coached alongside him. I've learned so much from him in these last 5 or 6 years, and how to be a coach, how to be, a good role model. Sometimes you think about, the older guy is a role model. Well, not with like Coach Villiez and Coach Covine. They're my role models. I want to emulate them and try to be like them. And coaching, I think through football, I think we can make a difference in this world. We all got some kids who, have family issues, who are good athletes, maybe not so good athletes, but through football, we've created a family, and you've done a nice job of that. You created that family bond, and these kids, I think, look forward to us. Even when they graduate, the alumni comes back and they give you those big old bear hugs and stuff. Just warms your heart. So, the corporate world was great. I knew how to lead people. I was a leader in the corporate world, and I'm just trying to take those skills that I've learned throughout my life as a coach, a football coach.
Yeah, just don't get hugged by that kid Kenny Minor, right? Because you may not come out of it.
I don't know, Coach. If you saw that video of that bar, Benny, we might have to buy a new bar.
Coach, I have it. I saved it. That's awesome. But we always tell the kids that we don't love just the jersey number. We love the guy under the jersey number, and that's true. And watching you guys go at it in the off season, you guys are going with it and going way above, over the top, and I love it. You kids first. It's always about that. Always will be at Barnegat as long as we have control of that stuff. Okay, now I'm going to first take this mask off. I'm sick of wearing it. We're going to talk about the COVID, but I only want to talk about the positive part of the COVID that you guys thought, that you guys learned from our football program last year when nobody was prepared for a COVID pandemic at all. So first we'll go with Coach Petruzzi. Tell me something that you learned from yourself or from the kids positively about the COVID.
Well, Coach, you know the adversity. I think anytime you're faced with adversity, it's how you react. It's how the staff reacts. If the staff makes it a big monumental issue, the players are going to think it's a big monumental issue. Even though it was, we were calm. We just took it step by step. We made sure we followed all the guidelines, did whatever we need to do to keep us on the field, and we didn't miss any games. We finished our schedule. We had a successful season. We didn't lose any players to COVID for any game. So I think what we did on the field and in the field house and in the classroom, we prepared our kids to face adversity. And any one of those kids that were on our program last year could go back and say, hey, listen, I played on a football team that was going through COVID. We made it. Mm-hmm. We were successful. So that's a learning experience that they can take on the rest of their lives.
We respected COVID and we made it a safe ground for everybody. That's one thing that you guys did. I delegated a lot with the assistants with the temperature checking and this and that. Coach Villiez, before you go on, as a head coach, we got all these rules, and we're very flexible, our football coaches in the country, because you want to play football. But all the stuff that we were told that we had to follow, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, pods. I didn't even hear what a pod, I didn't know what a pod even was. I had to look it up, say, okay, groups, no, it's a pod. But in the pods, we can only have no more than 10 people in a pod in phase 1. First of all, phase 1 was no football. I'm like, what? Now I got to tell my coaches no football during phase 1 and nobody more than 10 people in a pod. First of all, how are we supposed to coach football? So we had to be very creative, and you guys did a great job with it. And it was totally a world of difference. The other thing was if you had symptoms, any type in the past, if you didn't feel good, suck it up, get to practice. But if a kid didn't feel good now, you had to let him stay home. Example, one of the things was if you had an upset stomach, you had diarrhea, and you just didn't feel right. To me, that was you ate too much Taco Bell. Now you just have to stay home and you have to side on the other side. So, I mean, I'm all joking aside, you don't know, is it something you ate? Is it really something going on? But we were just in a world of we had to respect the rules and go with it and make it safe, like we talked about with Coach Petruzzi. Coach Villiez, what did you take about the pandemic?
My biggest takeaway is just how resilient the Barnegat community is. Early on in those first phases, that phase one, we're trying to figure out, how we're going to, get our weight program going without being inside of a weight room. Me and you sat down, we created a program that we could do outside. And
no, let's change that. You created it. I put my name on it. No, you created it. No, you did it. You did such a fantastic job when we called it the OC, the outside conditioning. I only put the name of it. It was weight room outside because you couldn't lift in the weight room. So I said, just call it outside conditioning. You did a fantastic job with that. You really did. You really did.
And one of the biggest things with that is we wanted to make sure that it was open to our entire student body, all of our athletic teams. So we had different sessions with different athletes from our girls programs, our boys programs, not just our fall programs, our winter programs, our spring programs as well. So just seeing that kids weren't using COVID as an excuse to miss out on stuff. In fact, they were going the opposite end with it and showing up and being there and being accountable. It just showed a tremendous amount of resilience, and it was throughout the entire Barnegat community.
Well, the Barnegat, we know the Barnegat community, and as well the Barnegat football players are special. They really are. They went the other way with it, and they were so positive. I were preparing for having 20 kids on the team. We had 60 or 58 kids on the team. They want to go away. Temperature check, bang. This, bang. I was like, wow. They were very resilient, and they did a really nice job. We were very safe with everything we did. No locker room, all that stuff. No excuses. We had a tremendous year this year. We really did. But the most important thing to me was we actually had a season, and that was that. Yeah, the wins were great and all that stuff, but we had a season, and we played a game of football that we all were going to severely miss if we didn't get a chance to play. Okay, now, guys, we're going to talk 2021 Barnegat High School football schedule, which is on the left. On the right-hand side is the newly formed Patriot Division with a couple new faces in there that we're going to kind of talk about in a second. So you guys want to take the floor with, I see Allentown up there, game one, a team from outside the Shore Conference. Go ahead, talk a little bit about this schedule, guys.
Well, that first game, that Allentown game, that's going to be a new look for us. It's a team we haven't played in the past. We don't know a lot about them. We know they just graduated a very talented senior class. But at that same time, the program is very motivated. So we have that date circled on our calendar. The kids can't wait to play against Allentown. They know it's a new team. It's a new face that they haven't seen before. But we're definitely excited for Allentown, and we're going to give them a new look that no one in the Shore has seen Barnegat do.
Good. Coach, and may I add, too, it's also the first game with Coach Covine as the head coach. So, boy, oh, boy, talking to Coach Covine every day, is he getting excited? How excited are you seeing it with him, or is he doing a good job of holding it in?
He does his best to try to bottle it up, and it comes to the surface every once in a while. Coach Covine is a very emotional coach. He tries to hide his emotions. He's not the best at it, but he's definitely excited. He's a guy that's all in, and he's got the kids all in as well. So they're following his lead right now.
I can't wait. I told him, I said, you're not going to realize you're the head football coach until you're taking those steps on that path, walking up the ramp, getting ready to the football field. And there's nothing that's going to prepare him for that except that time right there. But he'll be fine. So you're playing home that first game. That's right before school. And then you have an interesting game with Manchester. And I don't want to talk in depth about every one, but that was a back and forth game. They beat us last year at their place. They got a lot of guys back. You guys are going to be good. That's a great game. I see that game right there as potentially a game of the week. And looking right down there, you got your Shore, you got your Asbury, Point Borough, and Point Beach, your pod play. And again, your expectations are state playoffs like we do every year. That's what we want, the same expectations. Let's just focus on the right-hand side now to the newly formed Patriot Division. A couple new faces, guys, there. We've traditionally played Shore. Point Borough is now going to be a team that we're constantly going to be playing, hopefully for the next couple of years. Manchester's kind of a team that we're used to. And then Asbury Park. What do you guys think about the new division that was just here?
We like it, Coach. We think it. We match up well with all those teams. We think there's going to be some really good. You talked about the Manchester game being the game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
We agree with that. We think that's going to be a good matchup for us. We like it. I think those schools are very competitive. They've been very competitive all throughout the years, and I think it's going to be a good test for this new program and this new head coach. You talked about Allentown. One of the things that Coach Covine's real excited about is he's going to be able to rock his new uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
Allentown, he's bringing out the orange, and I think he's bringing out the orange and white maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. We got a couple of combinations, but he can't wait to rock his new uniforms.
Yeah.
So that'll be a nice test for us. And obviously, that's usually junior Bengal night. Mm-hmm. So we're looking forward to it, but we like that. We like this new conference. We think we can be competitive, and it's up, from top to bottom. Yeah. Very competitive conference.
Oh, it is from top to bottom. I mean, I can get 5 different coaches to make a prediction, and then you're going to have 5 different order. You really are, because there's a lot of teams there that can go toss-up games and very competitive. That's what you want. They did a great job of grouping this division together. I'm excited to follow it. And you guys will be a team to be reckoned with, too. When other teams are talking about this division, they have to include Barnegat. Barnegat's been a very good football program in the past, and I don't see it any different in the future. Okay, now, guys, the Barnegat High School 2021 football coaching staff. Coach Covine is not here. He is the head football coach, first-year head football coach, 35 years old, 13 years in the program, 3 years as a defensive coordinator. Took over for me. I know who you are. I want everybody else to know you are, and I'm proud to hear these names. You guys start announcing the new staff for this year.
All right, so starting with our new head coach, we have Paul Covine, like we've talked about before. He was our defensive coordinator the past couple of years. He's been with the program on all different levels for the past 13 years. So that's our new head coach. Going off of that, we have our new offensive coordinator, who is an experienced coordinator, but he's switching sides of the ball this year. Yeah. That was our long-term defensive coordinator, Kevin Smith. He's now coaching the offense.
Glad he's back. Good hire.
Great hire. Great program guy. Bringing a new look to the offense because he's got a defensive mind. Mm-hmm. So it's a little bit of a different approach, but he's making it his own, and he's got his own style of things, and the kids are picking it up. Good. So we're excited about that. Next, we have our director of football operations, which is sitting right here above me. That's Coach Petruzzi. And then, Coach, you want to take over?
Yeah, Coach. So I'll take – obviously, last year I took over the running backs. I'm going to do that again this year. And my added responsibility as the director of football operations, I do the fundraising, equipment, manage the field house, manage the parents, meals, everything that, all that stuff that you did in the background that, to relieve Coach Covine so he could really focus on the weight room as a defensive responsibilities and really, working with the junior Bengals and the middle school. He's really spending a lot of time there. So my role was to relieve him of that. But I'm also helping out Coach Smith with quarterback. So we have a really good relationship as an offensive coordinator. So him as the offensive coordinator, I've learned a lot on him. As Coach Villiez said, he's putting his spin on the offense. It's been a little challenging, to learn as quickly as we have, but we spent a lot of time together in school, in the classroom, and outside the classroom. Our special teams coach, we have our defensive line coach, Coach Burke. As you know, he's been with you for 16 years. So he told me today that he's been around 1 year longer than you now. So
one game. Huh? One game. He was there one game. I didn't make the Manasquan game. He was there, so he lapped me. Yes, and one more year. Yeah. Coach Burke, Listen, I never would have came to Barnegat without Coach Burke. He came with me from Lacey and has been a loyal coach, as well as you know. He's loyal to you guys, and he's just a loyal person. You can't change his personality. That's what he is.
You talk about learning from coaches, as Coach Villiez said before, as a mentor. He's taught me a lot about just coaching kids. Coaching on this level and coaching kids. We've had a lot of in-depth discussions about that, but he's taken over the coordinator of special teams. And you got to see the binder he's put together for us on special teams. He's got a binder that's this thick.
I thought Kenny Miner was squatting it. That was the 600 pounds. Was Coach Burke's special teams manual? Yeah.
He's taken that role and run with it. So you want to take over, Andrew?
Yeah. Next we have our offensive line coach, which is Coach Leone, Mike Leone. He's actually returning to that position. He was there formerly when we had that run making it to the state final.
Coach, so 5 years, 5 years, our better days we've ever had at Barnegat.
Right.
He was our line coach, when we went to the state finals and all that. Tremendous guy, bringing back on the staff. Yeah.
So he's been coaching at the lower level, at the freshman level, the past couple years. Mm-hmm. So he's just back into his original spot. He brings a ton of experience. The kids love playing for him.
Yeah.
We're really excited to have Mike back as our offensive line coach. Next is our defensive back coach, Pat Moran. So before Pat started coaching, he was a player at Barnegat as well. He's an alumni guy. He played 4 years at William Patterson. He was a standout at William Patterson. He's a guy that's made my life a lot easier because before Pat was there, I was coaching wideouts and DBs. So now I'm kind of splitting that role with him. I'm coaching the wideouts. He's coaching the DBs. We worked so well together. He's someone that I can help out as a young coach, but he can also help me out. He's brings a lot to the table. He's a great energy guy.
You're not that young anymore, Coach. You got guys younger than you now.
Young guy.
Yeah.
He's also a cop within our town, so he's a Barnegat police officer, which helps us a lot. Having that connection with our police department is very important for us. Next, we have our freshman coaches. Our head freshman coach is Zach Brebner. He's a Toms River North grad.
Yeah.
He played there, played baseball there as well. He's someone who's been around for quite a few years now. He's coached at a couple different levels. He's been with the varsity program, so
kids love him. Kids love him.
A lot of experience, and he's great with the kids.
He is.
And he's doing a good job down there at the freshman level. His assistant this year is another alumni guy, Big Zach Andrews. He was on that team that made that state final. Mm-hmm. So he's bringing that same mentality that Coach Leone is bringing to the varsity program,
mm-hmm.
and that we're also teaching that same stuff and that same style down at the freshman level. And then in addition to that, we do have a game day coach. So you know how it is on Friday nights, especially on the sideline. Things are crazy. Kids are, crossing that line. We're pushing them back. We're always making sure that things are running efficiently. And someone who's helping us out with that is Coach Wayne Jackson.
Yeah.
He's been around the program for a very long time.
Yeah.
Someone that brings a ton of energy. The kids love him. He's not a quiet guy by any means, and he's a perfect guy for Friday nights, and he's a big help when he's there.
Yep.
One of the things that Coach Andrews has brought to the team is his enthusiasm. Obviously, he's a very large man, and his voice and his enthusiasm just like bellows through,
mm-hmm.
The field house and the field. The kids just respect him tremendously. So he's been a great addition for us.
He's got a bright future. Now, let's not forget about that middle school program that's been very successful and has been very huge in our success throughout the years with Coach Fitz. You want to talk about who's coaching at the middle school level?
Yeah, so we have our head coach, Brian Fitzpatrick. He's been doing it for a couple years. He is the best when it comes to getting kids to come out for the team. He is the best recruiter we have on our staff. He gets guys to play, and at that level, that's the biggest thing. It's made such an impact on our varsity program already. Our numbers are higher than they've been in a long time, and he's the guy to credit for that. On top of that, he's an excellent coach. He's great with the kids. He knows what he's doing. He's got a lot of experience playing the game. He played at Southern Regional. He played some semi-pro ball after high school and college. So mm-hmm. He's got a load of experience. And then one of his assistants down there is Derek Rizzo, who's a guy that's been in our program for so long. He was coaching me.
Day one.
He was coaching me when I was playing in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a guy that's had his foot out the door here and there, but he can't leave Barnegat. He's going to be a guy will be there for a long time. He's someone that has a lot of football knowledge, and he helps those kids out tremendously. He's a good coach. He was a great wrestling coach. He coaches volleyball. He's just an all-around great Barnegat program guy.
Coach, this was awesome. I'm smiling ear to ear. I love it. I love hearing the names again because you do know you guys were all my coaches, all back. I'm going like this. I'm just glad you guys stayed together. All of you guys except one, all are back. I mean, I'm so happy. I'm proud when I hear about it. And listen, you know as well as I know, I stayed away from you guys. And I did this for a reason. I wanted you to grow, and I wanted you guys to bond with the players. I didn't want to be a distraction, but I'll be at your games, and that was my intentions. I want to see you guys take it and go, and I can't wait to be a fan. I just can't wait to be a fan. I'll always be a Barnegat Bengal fan. I'm wearing my Barnegat Bengal Hawaiian shirt. That's proof, right? But there's one name I want to add to that list, and he's a good friend of mine. And the hardest thing to do was to tell him I was stepping down was John Germano. John Germano is not only our athletic director, he was a former coach on our staff back when you were there, Coach Villiez, but he's a friend, and he's a big fan of not only the Barnegat football players, but all the Barnegat student athletes. And he's a huge part of our football program. He's expanding the program as we speak. Don't say what's going on, but he's got some good things going on. I just wanted to make sure people know that I had an athletic director, and he's still there, that was all in, and he was highly invested, and he was the best AD that I could think of working for. Right, guys?
Yes, we appreciate you using the all-in phrase, Coach, because that's our 2021 phrase.
I'm using that a lot now. It's catchy. It's good.
You're either all in or you're all out. It's
I'm talking to people. I'm all in, and like it's just so catchy. It's cool. I like it. So
you're all in.
Yeah, I would love to get that shirt though that Coach Covine got with his face on it. And I'm an XL. Well, I may be a 2XL in 2 weeks the way I'm eating, but
the kids actually bought those themselves.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. They didn't give you the bill?
No. I was expecting it, but they chipped the $20 themselves. So.
Oh God, that's scary. You go on vacation for a couple of days, you come back, you got T-shirts already made.
Yeah.
So you got to watch it when you leave Barnegat. You never know what's going to happen. Yeah. That's an exciting coaching staff for the future and also the present right now. And guys, I had a lot of great memories with you guys, and thank you for all the the hardest part was leaving relationships and just hearing those names. It's like, wow, I just love hearing about it. I'm very proud of each and every one of you guys. And I'm so excited for Coach Covine and the opportunity that he has. And I know he's not only going to succeed, he's going to do it for many, many years with you guys there. Okay, now you guys are going to talk 2021 Barnegat Bengals football. But first, tell us a little bit what you guys run offensively, defensively, and then talk about your key returners and newcomers that you guys are so excited about for this season. Go ahead.
All right, so offensively, I would call our offense a multiple offense. We're going to be doing a lot of different things this year that we haven't done in the past, but also involving some of the stuff that we built our program off of. So we've definitely taken it to a new level. Got some tricks up our sleeves. We're not going to really reveal exactly what we're doing, but
no.
It's a new look to some of the stuff that we've been doing in the past.
Yep.
And then defensively, we're still going to be a 3-4 defense. It's still Coach Covine's defense. So what you guys have seen us on film doing in the past, we're doing similar things. We're sticking to what we're good at, and we're using that 3-4.
Talk about those key returners, Coach. Some quality guys there.
All right, so talking about returning players, we're going to start off with Connor Darmstadter. He's our senior offensive lineman, defensive lineman. He was a first-team All-Division last year.
Yeah.
Defensively at 32 tackles and a tackle for loss, which is, as an interior defensive lineman, that's a pretty good stat line. Next is the guy we've mentioned a couple times, Kenny Minor. Should be calling him Kenny Major at this point.
I never heard that, but that's good.
He's getting it done in the weight room, squatting over 600 pounds. He's also a offensive and defensive lineman. So he's going to help anchor us on both sides of the ball. He was second team All-Division on offense.
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to have a monster year for us. Next is senior Kean Paul. This is someone who played tight end for us in the past. He's going to have a bigger role on defense this year, so he's going to be a tight end and a linebacker. Maybe we'll have him split out wide. I don't know. We're going to do some different stuff with him. Mm-hmm. He's someone who's going to give other teams matchup problems offensively, and he gets his job done on defense.
Yes.
Next is a junior, JoJo Bivens. All right, he's our running back. He sat behind, some backs in the past that were pretty good, and he's finally going to have some more touches this year. He should be pretty exciting to watch. Joe does a lot of fun things on the field. He's definitely a guy that you have to keep your eye on if you're playing against us, and he's going to have some big games for us this year. Next, we have Naz Lee, who's a returning two-way starter. He's a guy that if you look at him before the game starts, you're going to say he's probably a little too undersized to be playing for us. But when he gets out on the field and he has the ball in his hands, he is a playmaker. Kid can just ball. He makes plays when you think you can't make a play. Naz is the guy to make it. Like I said, he's a 2-year he's starting on both sides of the ball. We have very high expectations for his output this year, and that's Naz Lee. Next is Connor Armstrong. He's an O-line and linebacker. He's going to make a huge impact on both sides of the ball, but more importantly on defense. He's going to help anchor that as our middle linebacker. He's a guy that, opposite of Naz, if you take a look at him, he looks like an action figure out there. That kid is put together. He is going to make some plays this year. He's going to open up some eyes. He's going to have a big year for us. And then next is another returning starter. He started as a sophomore. He's a junior now, Shakeith Gordon. He's someone that played both sides of the ball for us. He was more of a wide receiver last year. He's going to have more of a dual role this year, playing offense and defense. He's someone that can make big plays downfield, but he's also defensively someone who can come up and make some tackles. So we're excited for Shakeith.
Coach, I just want to add a couple things with those returning starters because I did coach them last year. The first thing Germano tried to win me over when I said I was stepping down, it's like, you've been waiting for this long to have skill kids and you're leaving now. So it had nothing to do with the skill kids. Really, it never did. But you do got some dynamic kids that can take it to the house. Would you agree, Coach Petruzzi?
Oh, absolutely. As Coach Villiez just mentioned, Naz and Shakeith, you're going to see them. They're going to be exciting lightning on the field, and Kean Paul has really grown up to into his role, and he's going to be a matchup nightmare, on the outside and inside.
Those two kids, Shakeith and Naz, are excellent returners. They're catching punts and then getting yards for it, as you saw last year. As sophomores, both playing offense and defense, they're going to be one of the better corners and receivers out there. And JoJo Bivens had to back up Nick DeLeo last year, ran for over 300-something yards in a COVID season, shortened season in terms of how many games you played. And he could potentially rush for 1,000 yards behind that huge line that you're going to have this year. You got to be pretty excited. Coach, what is Coach Leone feeding those guys?
Hey, Coach, I get to coach JoJo, and let me tell you, he's grown up so much in the last 2 years, that not only physically, but maturity-wise.
Yes.
And he's looking to have a breakout year and a banner year. And you're right. We think he could rush for 1,000 yards.
And I love the addition of Connor Armstrong because he's going to solidify the Mike linebacker playing on defense. And what a team player. And he's only a junior. But the guy who I think is going to be a sleeper out there with college coaches, I've been talking to coaches, is Kean Paul. Kean Paul is a dynamic guy that plays tight end and can play outside, inside, like you said before, Coach. And he's very skilled, smart, good character kid. He has everything that you want in your program, Kean Paul. Would you agree?
Right.
What a great guy with that. And he looked real good in the 7-on-7s. Go ahead, Coach. You want to take it from there with the newcomers?
Yeah, Coach, we got several newcomers. One is Jared Swarn. You mentioned earlier, Jared Swarn has really grown up as a senior. He had a great baseball season because he really hit the weight room. He's embraced the weight room. He's over 200 pounds now. We're moving him to tight end.
Yeah.
And linebacker. You saw him in 7-on-7, and physically we think he's going to be able to dominate on the end. Logan Krudel, another one of our seniors, who's grown up and has just grew tremendously in the last year. He's become a really nice possession receiver for Coach Villiez, and Coach Villiez done a nice job with him. Kyle Essinger, again, who was injured last year towards the end of the season, didn't see his full potential. But again, if you noticed our 7-on-7, he's a weapon, and he's going to be hard to deal with. His size and his speed. He ran track, and he was on our one of our conference winning 4x100 relay team.
Coach, wait, before you go on, how about his strength? I just heard his numbers, Coach Villiez.
He's another 1,000, I believe so, Andrew. Another 1,000 pounder. Yeah,
goes after it in the weight room.
Yeah. Max Gene Cohn, running back linebacker. Again, he's a junior who spent a lot of time last year on scout team and learning the position, but he's grown up physically, and we're looking for him to kind of spell JoJo a little bit and dominate on both sides of the ball. Gabe Terry. Gabe Terry is a very positive story. Gabe is a junior. Not only has he embraced the weight room and coming every day to every practice, he's become a leader with some of the younger guys. And
Good.
We kind of call him Grandpa. He's got that. He's a grandpa at the family picnic.
Yeah.
He's got that jolly laugh. He's always smiling. But
he's charismatic. He is. Yeah.
Jasmine Vieira, sophomore. Again, dynamic receiver. I think Coach Villiez is spending some extra time with him, working with him on route running. But he does remind us of Devin DiFilippo. Matt Worthy, sophomore, played quarterback, broke his hand. He is going to be playing some quarterback, wide receiver, defensive back, but he's learning a lot. And then we have our senior, Kurt Bonnet. Kurt Bonnet's been playing behind the starting quarterback for the last 4 years. Spent a lot of time with me as a quarterback coach. You're going to be surprised, Coach, about Kurt this year.
I'm not surprised. The kids believe in him, and you know what? So does the coaches.
Yeah. He's a baller. He does. He did well in our 7-on-7.
Real well.
He spent a lot of time with Coach Smith in trying to understand and learn. Really fully understand the offense. So we're looking forward to him playing. And then Amir Allen, tight end, linebacker. Yeah. We need him to really produce for us this year as a senior. You rely on your seniors, and he should be a productive player for us. And that's our returning players that we're looking for.
I see Coach Villiez smiling every time you're talking about those skill kids because he's been here from day one. And you know as well as I do, you got some toys, man. You got some weapons, and eventually you're going to have to showcase them maybe the first week, right? But you do got some toys here, me knowing who they are, and guys. Go.
We also want to mention some freshmen. We don't know where they're going to be as far as the depth chart and how much time they're going to see on the field this year. But when you watch them play and you watch them do stuff, you can tell that they have a really bright future. So there's 3 kids we want to mention. First one is Cole Toddings, who's someone that's special to me because his father coached me when I was in middle school. So now we get to kind of see things go full circle. I get to coach him. That's a pretty cool feeling for me. And he's just a super talented kid. He's got a really bright future like his father did. Next is Janelle Johnson. He's one of our running backs from the middle school last year, who is just a dynamic athlete. Anyone who's watched him play says it right off the bat. Like he can do some special things out there. And he's definitely going to be someone who's going to be a big name in Barnegat in the future. And then next is another running back. So it's going to be interesting sharing the ball back there is Myquan Rush. Again, just a guy that can make some flash plays. He's exciting to watch. He's super athletic. He's super talented. He's very coachable. So we got our eyes on those guys, and they're definitely going to have some bright futures for us, and we're excited to see where they end up.
Wow, that's I love hearing it. I know I knew who those guys were. I just want you to tell everybody else out there. You got some guys out there. I love the chemistry between the coaches and the players. Very exciting football next year. And would you guys admit that your expectations are the same every year? You're not saying, oh, we're a first-year staff together in a different role capacity. You still want to go after the same accomplishments that we've done all the years, right?
Right. And like you said, like we have a new head coach, but to us, it's just a new title for some of us. It doesn't feel like a new staff. It doesn't feel like we're starting over or anything like that. It's kind of like we're just taking that next step. You did a good job of putting us in the places that we needed to be. We didn't have to go outside of the program to bring new guys in. We kept what we had in-house because we had something special going there. So hats off to you for getting it started. You built this program.
Yeah.
I've seen you do it at every single level, starting with the middle school up to the high school.
I lost all my hair doing it, man. I got to get my hair back.
I lost it too.
Well, my question to you is Coach Covine keeping the tradition with the Hawaiian shirts, or is that done?
No, that's done.
That's
God.
done.
Oh, jeez.
I'll try to bring it out today, though.
Coach, he's actually established a wardrobe.
I know.
For us, to wear on game day.
I like it. He's a lot different in a lot of things. I really like his ideas. You could tell that it's well thought, all his ideas, and he has a plan, and people believe in him. And that's what matters. And you know what? I believe in him. I know you guys believe in him. But more importantly, the players believe in him. And if you don't think so, look at the shirts that are all over Instagram, with his picture right there. Guys, I want to wish you guys the best and best of luck. Please echo that back to all the coaches, especially Coach Covine. And please tell the players I miss them too. But here's what I need from you, because I don't know if you know it right now. I'm a .com dude. TheShoreFootballReport.com. Yep, I'm a .com dude. Got a website. I'm covering high school football. This will be posted in probably 4 hours. You need to spread this out, and we're going to see how many views you get compared to everybody in the Shore Conference. There's a top 20 views count. I'm excited to showcase you guys in this interview, and I'm really excited. I'm a big Barnegat fan from the outside. I really will. I'll be at your games covering, but I'm going to let you guys coach. And it was a great 18 years I had, but now it's time to move on. It really is for everybody. I'm excited for John Germano. I'm excited for Coach Covine, and seeing the smiles in your faces. I think that you guys are having fun going to work. Is that true?
That's 100% true, Coach. I enjoy it. I enjoy being around these young gentlemen. When you get up to my age, and you get to hang around with guys like this, the knowledge that they have, football, and just about knowledge of life, that their excitement, their enthusiasm for life. I've just been energized to take it to the next level, Coach. We're looking forward to it.
I love the energy that's coming out of the program from the last couple months. Really, Coach Covine has done a great job just keeping it going, and that's what I'm proud about. I really am. I love you guys. I miss you guys, but I'll always be there for you if you ever need me. But I will never, ever kind of step in your guys' way. I want you guys to enjoy the process.